Jacobo Penide is the founder of Handytronic, a company created with the vision of improving quality of life through disruptive mobility and brain health solutions. And today he's going to talk to us about using one's own personal biological footprint to achieve these goals. Welcome, Jacobo.
Maybe somewhere I need it's here. Thank you. Thank you very much, Lisa, for your kind introduction. And I'm really excited to be here today because coming from Spain to California is always like a dream, and be here with you at Stanford, it's a great pleasure. And the story I want to tell you is a story about a battle against the odds and how it's possible to convert adversity into virtue and into an opportunity to use technology to improve mankind's quality of life. And I had a very bad medical problem in my family. 3 years ago, one of my closest relatives suffered a huge major depressive disorder, and he had everything he could want, but he was completely unhappy. He was sunk in a deep hole and with really, really dark thoughts. And as an engineer, I needed to understand what was happening inside his head, because it was really, really bad for our entire family. So at this point, I started to research and to search for all the biography I could find about psychology, psychiatry, and analyzing the state-of-the-art technologies to monitor what was happening in the brain. And at that point, I found the power of EEG to monitor the brain activity and combine with other technologies to modify the status of consciousness and emotion. So at this point, this was my motivation to start this project in 2015 with two main objectives. The first objective was to improve the mobility for disabled people. We started with this, and we shared some thoughts with Bob, so it was a nice talk for me. The first objective was to help the disabled people, and we started with this because we thought it was more affordable and a proof of concept for our final vision. And the second objective was to extend this concept and include complement the EEG with other biological variables to be able, using deep learning algorithms, to be able to early diagnose cognitive decline and mental illnesses, and particularly depression. We started to work with depression. So in 2015, I founded Handytronic. Our headquarters is in La Coruña. I know it is not like California, but we try to enjoy it as much as we can. And there was a very important fundamental fact that conditioned the startup of the company, that was that during these years we started the project with the Galician Health Service, that is the public authority in our region, and we worked with them to develop a product for improving efficiency in hospitals. It was in the infrastructure side of the development. But for us, it was very important because, of course, we had the knowledge and expertise to develop and to market high-tech products, but we do not know how to market high-tech products for the health sector. So dealing with the Spanish Agency of Medicines and Medical Devices was really enriching for us. It was amazing. It was a very good experience because we adapt all our processes to be able to develop and certify our hardware and software to market them in the health sector. Unfortunately, in our region, we do not have huge acquired knowledge in the neuroscience field. So we created an open innovation ecosystem. We involve our startup, of course, with a lot of passion, ideas, effort, and this experience developing and marketing high-tech products. And we involve as well a university. We are working with two universities, University of La Coruña in the north and the University of Vigo in the south, specifically the Advanced Research Center for Communication that provide us the scientific approach for the project. And the most important for me was to bring to the team the medical staff. So we involved neuroscientists, you will see later, neuroscientists, psychologists, psychiatrists, to work together to achieve this goal. This is our dream. This is the way we want to change the world. We combine neuroscience plus artificial intelligence to identify, record, process, interpret, and translate the personal biological footprint first into actions. So we want to help these people with mobility problems to improve their quality of life. And second, the most important, to complement this first concept and to extend it to be able to diagnose cognitive impairment and mental illnesses. That was our target. For this first challenge, we created this team. So we involved one hospital that is one of the most important hospital probably in Spain, talking about the spinal injury diseases. And we involved the head of this unit that is a very well-known professional in Spain and Europe, Dr. Sotillo, because we wanted to test our concepts directly with the patients, with disability conditions. We involved as well Dr. Montoto, and at this point we created with the University of La Coruña a specific chair working in the field of neuroscience, applied in health, and this is the architecture we develop. We have BCI. We were working initially with emotive. I think there's a girl here somewhere. Hi. And we did a great job with emotive in the beginning. You will see an example later. And then we started to work with Nathan, with the Neuros team. We are doing with them a fantastic work to try to simplify the user interfaces, because what we could feel from the trial is that to make it wearable, simple, easy, is a key to success in this project. So we developed the processing module, this machine learning algorithms, because the system is recursively learning how every user or how every patient thinks and how to translate these thoughts into specific actions. We developed the application and, of course, the interfaces with the physical world. You will see that we started with a wheelchair, like Bob was presenting before me. So we developed the application interfacing with the engines, with all the stuff in the wheelchair, and then a user interface to provide feedback to the patient. Basically, during the training process, because we wanted the patient to participate actively in this process. Sorry, because this is the speech is in Spanish, but it's subtitled in English, so I hope you don't have any problem.
La interpretación de las ondas cerebrales se realiza mediante electroencefalografía, que es una técnica que básicamente mide las ondas cerebrales a partir de los cambios en el potencial eléctrico del cerebro. Y evidentemente también juega un papel muy importante la inteligencia artificial, porque cada paciente piensa de una forma diferente y es ese sistema el que tiene que aprender cómo piensa un usuario. Nuestra idea no es solamente hacer un proyecto de investigación, sino llevarlo al mercado, es decir, poder desarrollar una silla de ruedas que realmente se pueda comercializar y con un coste lo suficientemente barato como para que los pacientes se lo puedan permitir. Este sería el casco que estamos utilizando actualmente en el prototipo. Se comunica con la tableta gráfica con un pincho Bluetooth y recibe y envía información de las señales del cerebro del usuario. Nuestro software lo que hace es almacenar los perfiles de cada usuario para que una vez hayas entrenado una serie de acciones no tengas que volverlas a entrenar desde cero. Hay que entrenar al sistema para que reconozca los patrones mentales de cada usuario. Durante el proceso de entrenamiento, el usuario puede ver un GIF que representa el movimiento que está entrenando y tiene que concentrarse en esa acción durante 8 segundos, en los cuales el ordenador está detectando sus pensamientos para asociarlos a ese movimiento. En esta pantalla, el usuario puede ver el GIF de la acción que está pensando en cada momento, así como el nombre de la acción y la potencia con la que lo está pensando. Nuestra intención es hacer estudios con pacientes y con voluntarios que nos permitan saber cómo podemos mejorarlo.
So this was the result of the first prototype. You could see that we are using, in this case, we were using the emotive headset, and we developed all the system architecture to control, in this case, an Invacare wheelchair. And the most important here is that we use non-invasive EEG to control this specific device, but it was really amazing when we entered the trials with the patients. So we work with this spinal injury unit in the hospital. And what we learned from the patient was that the most important was not to control a wheelchair, to move forward, to move backward, right, left. We must take into account that we are talking about people with severe injuries, quadriplegic conditions, even there is some patient that even can only move one part of his face. The most important for them was to extend their thoughts to interact with the environment. That was the idea we get from the trials. And for this reason, we were talking a little bit about this yesterday, but for that reason, we started to develop and to create a simple IoT environment. So we connected some specific devices in the lab, the lights, the TV, and we trained the system to recognize the patterns and to translate these patterns into specific actions to be able to control these specific devices. And it was really, really interesting because and even the best reward I could ever imagine was to see the face of one patient with a quadriplegic condition when he was able to switch on a light with his thought. So we are working now in this development because we think that this way is really, really powerful to extend the autonomy and to provide these patients with severe condition to improve the quality of life. And for the second challenge, remember we had the two challenges, the first mobility and second cognitive impairment and mental illnesses. For this second challenge, we create this team. It was amazing. We involved Javier Cudeiro, that is the president of the Neuroscience Association in Spain. Probably some of you know them because he was working at MIT with Ed, working about transcranial magnetic stimulation, and he's now performing this task in Spain. And we involved two psychiatrists, Dr. Núñez del Valle and Dr. Díaz del Valle and Dr. Núñez Pérez. And it was really amazing to bring to the team pure scientists, Javier and this psychiatrist that they thought in a completely different way. They were talking about drugs, they were talking about psychotherapy. So it was really, really difficult to put both together, but now it's working very well and it's amazing to see the results. We involved two mental health hospitals in Spain, one based in La Coruña and the other based in a small city, it's called Ferrol, in the north of Spain. And we They provide us a sample of 143 patients with different degrees of cognitive decline and depression. And the most important for us was that we had available the diagnostic information and classification of cognitive decline for each specific patient. The psychiatrist provided us with this information. It was very important to fit the deep learning algorithms we developed. We defined this inclusion and exclusion criteria. So you can see we include patients with affected with depression disorder following the classification criteria defined by this American Psychiatric Association. Probably all of you know about that. And we exclude patients younger than 15, older than 75. Of course, patients who demonstrate the existence of comorbid psychopathic pathology, just to make sure that we are entering the right data and not disturbing the results. And the last thing was very important to ensure the final result. We excluded patients who have recurrent episodes of some substance abuse like alcohol or drugs. And this is the evolution of the first concept. We have these machine learning algorithms and these interfaces with the brain, but we extend this concept and we create what we call the Mind Zone. That is a platform where the smartphone is the hub. So we develop an application focusing in the smartphone, and the phone is connecting to different wearables or devices to monitor different biological biomarkers of the body, and then sending all of them to the cloud and to feed the deep learning algorithms. Here is where we define the personal biological footprint, because these are the variables we are now monitoring for the trial, for the clinical trial. We are monitoring pulse, of course, EEG. We're using non-invasive EEG in this project. I don't know where is Nathan, but in this project we are working very hard with Neurotech, because again, to simplify the EEG interface is key to success in this project. We are monitoring pulse oximeter, blood pressure, skin conductance, pulse, weight, physical activity, because with the smartphone we can monitor physical activity. The usage of social network that we could find is a key indicator of mood and mental disorders, and environmental. This was very important when we were working with people inside the hospitals. Okay? You can see that the architecture is very similar to what we have seen before. So we have the smartphone as the hub. We have the processing and storage module. The deep learning algorithms, that is the key for this project, to try to understand what's happening and to provide us with the result for each particular disorder. Then application, responsive UI, and reporting analytical state. This is the basic architecture we develop to be able to monitor this personal biological footprint and to translate it into different cognition and declines. And the results we get for the second challenge about cognitive impairment and mental health was that we have high correlation figures for patients with depression, according again to the classification criteria in the DSM-5. And what we learned is that it was amazing to understand and to see how the cooperation between humans and computers, because psychiatrists and neuroscientists were feeding the deep learning algorithms, has revealed itself as a key tool for defining and using the personal biological footprint. And for the first challenge we had, is that the most important for us was the impact we have in the personal autonomy and the improvement of the quality of life of these people. Here we could see the potential of EEG as a tool to extend their thoughts to have an holistic interaction with the environments. And of course, we know that this is only the beginning, but the result for us have been very promising, and what we want now is to extend this clinical trial to, we are including more and more patients and even volunteers to tune the deep learning algorithms and to even extend this platform now focused in depression, to extend this concept to another pathologies. And that's all from me. Thank you very much for your attention. I don't know, we have a couple of minutes for any question you may have. Yeah?
How do you know that the personal biological footprint is something that's clinically meaningful and it's not just an artifact of the machine learning?
That was part of the project. We started with a lot of variables, and we performed different trials involving different variables. For this particular question, it was key the participation of the physiologists and neuroscientists to try to limitate the group of variables we needed to fit the deep learning algorithms. But it was a hard job to get to the final set of variables to fit the algorithms. Yeah.
So you mentioned that you use machine learning to be able to fill patterns for individuals. How much variation do you see from individual to individual as far as their patterns?
A huge variation. Huge. Okay, no more questions? Okay, thank you very much.